What's going on, guys? Here with the Crown Vic. I'm going to bring you another Crown Vic video. I've had a few requests to make this video, so I'm going to finally bring it to you. We're going to install just an inexpensive, like $55, $60 HID kit, headlight kit. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let's pop the hood and dive into it. Tools needed for this job are simply some zip tie cutters or wire cutters, some pliers, dikes, whatever you want to call them, any style, and some zip ties. That's it. There's little rivets in here, little plastic pop rivets. I think they spin. Just don't have them. I'm missing them in this one, so I'm just going to lift it up and remove this. I'm just going to set it back over here out of the way, so now you can get down in there. So now we have access to the back of our light right here. Let me move the camera so you can get a better angle and see in there. Alright, so this is what we're working with here. It's basically just a plug-and-play kit. So it comes with a ballast that powers it. It's all for a 12-volt system. These plug into this that comes separately. So you buy the ballasts to power the system separately, and then you specify which vehicle it's for, because it comes with a plug that's oriented for a specific vehicle. And then all the lights plug in to these ballasts. They're all kind of universal kits, but you need to specify what K or color, what Kelvin rating that you want. And I'm sure everybody's curious on what 1000 K is what color. I've done a few of these kits. They're just universal, basic, generic kits off of eBay. I've used several different ones that are in the $55, $60 range. I've had nothing but good stuff to say about them. Actually, they're extremely bright and they work really good, especially for the money. I've seen HID kits go anywhere for like $300 and $400, and I don't think it's worth it. I've had I've had several of these kits because I've put them in several cars, not because they've burnt out or I've had to replace them. That's not it at all. They've actually lasted the entire life of the vehicle that I've had it. I've never had a problem with any of these. One time when I went to put, I forget which Kelvin rating it is for the yellows. I think it's 3000 K. I put one of these kits for 3000 K yellows in a fog light kit on a Honda Prelude. And, the first time I purchased it, right out of the box, hooking them up, firing them up, letting them warm up, one of them never warmed up all the way and never got to its full brightness. I just had to return it. No questions asked. It was just a simple exchange. And the next ones worked perfectly. So that's the only issue I've ever experienced with any of these kits in this price range. I say they're definitely worth it. What I always go with, though, for my headlights is I like the white blues. It's just, it's a bright white with just a slight tint of blue. And I don't know if it's because of the tint of blue that's in it, but any reflective road sign, anything that's the least bit luminescent or reflective is glowing literally like a mile before you even approach it. You can see street signs a mile away. It's amazing. They're literally like glowing, like they glow in the dark. It captures any, just any light from these, any ambient light, no problem, from a ways away, and it just lights up street signs. They're amazing at night. It makes it so easy to see, especially if you have a fast car and you want some really bright headlights. These are great. A lot of times people think I have my high beams on though, and they'll flash my high beams. They'll flash their high beams at me. And then I'll show them my actual high beams that are brighter than these. And then they're like, oh. And then, so I've seen a lot of people in new cars too, driving around with just their high beams on all the time. And I don't know if it's just people that, and I'm seeing that more and more. So I don't know if just people are blind and they can't see at night, or I've tried to profile these people and a lot of them are young people too. I mean, it's not that they're just old and can't see at night. So I don't know if they're like, they just think everybody else is rocking their high beams all the time when really they're HID kits that they're seeing all the time and they're just being ignorant. So I don't know. Comment in the comment section below, guys, if you've noticed that same thing, what your guys' feelings are on that. But yeah, every once in a while I'll have somebody flash their high beams at me, and I'll flash my high beams back at them to show them that my high beams aren't on. It's an HID kit. So I've seen other cars with HID kits, and I can tell the difference. I know that their high beams aren't on. I know it's an HID kit, and you can tell the difference. They're not as bright as high beams. They're almost, though. They're very bright. So I get it. But these, so the white blues, it's mostly white with a tint of blue. They are the 8,000 Ks. So that's what these are here. So basically these just, you can see, I mean, where the grommets are here and everything, they basically just plug in right here. So let me set the camera down. I like to plug this whole system together, and then I just install the entire thing into the vehicle at one time. Makes it easier instead of trying to mount the ballast and then trying to get in there and plug all this stuff together and then trying to put this in the back of your headlight. So I just have it all together. I put this into my headlight, and then see, there's it comes with screws, and you can get any little bolts or machine screws or anything you want to mount this inside your fender well or up inside the firewall or wherever you want to go with it. But sometimes it's hard to find a place for these, and these do get warm, so you don't want them resting on other electrical wires or hoses or anything like that, anything that could be chafing and melting, anything like that. So but they do not melt a zip tie. They definitely don't get that hot, so I just kind of zip tie the bundle together, zip tie this up somewhere. I'll run a zip tie through like one of these holes or two of them, or just even around the whole body, like to something, and that's enough. That's enough. Just keep them from rattling and chafing on stuff. Let's just plug all this together, get it set up. It's just really simple. Just like that. And you got this little guy here. Let's plug this in over here. Here we go. Okay, now let's take this whole thing over to the vehicle and put it in. So here's the back of our headlight. This is our turn signal or marker lamp. We don't need to mess with that. We've already pulled the old bulb out that goes here. This little retainer ring that was on it, all the clips are broken on it because it's old and crusty. So I just reinstalled it, left it in there. It's actually not going to hold our new light in. The grommet on the HID bulb will hold it in there. And then you could put some type of glue or something if you want on there. It's a really snug fit. So just pressing it in there is good enough to keep it from vibrating, shaking around, keep it sealed. Has a really nice thick grommet on it. Fits that really nice. So this is the plug that came out of the back of what our original headlight bulb was plugged into. As you can see, it's kind of loose on there. Yeah. Good job, Ford. So let's grab our HID kit. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is you do not, like most any bulbs, you do not want to touch this bulb. You do not want to get any greases, residue from your finger oils, anything on this. It will, any liquid, any oil that stays on this bulb will create a hot spot. It will cook on the bulb and it will burn out your bulb. So you do not want to touch the bulb. So it can be a little tricky getting it in there without it touching anything. Now if it touches any of the plastic or anything like that, not a huge deal. Just don't get any sweat or body oils or anything like that on it. So that's the first thing we're going to try to do, is get that bulb in there. Now the camera might be in the way for a second here. It might go out of focus. I'm really just focused on, no pun intended, getting this bulb in there without touching it or getting it dirty or banging it on anything to damage it. So let's be very gentle. It is touching some things, but we're going to be very careful lining it in there. We're not going to force it. You can sometimes look through the front of your headlight to get it lined up too, because there are some little tabs on it. It is only going to go in the hole one way and fit in there a specific way. Okay, we might actually have it upside down. Let's try this. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's right. I was like, it still didn't feel quite like it was there. Okay, it's a little bit of a squeeze and twist kind of action. That's what she said, right? All right, so everything's still plugged in. This blue plug is where our factory harness is going to plug into. So it's hanging down here. So it's simply just plug and play. Let's plug that in. And we'll just let that hang. Oh, see that drop of sweat go through there? All right, so then we'll just bring this whole harness over. We'll kind of just lay it up on here. We're gonna zip tie that all together like a little bundle. And see, there's a few little holes in the front of this. Let's see if you can see this cross member right here. Yeah, so there's a few little holes in the front side of this, or you could just go over here. And then I'll just zip tie my ballast like right in here. It's not touching anything, it's up out of the way. And then I'll bundle all these wires and they'll just hang in there. Make sure they're not like resting on the plug or on this plug, just so you don't have like all this bouncing up and down, chafing on and stuff. And so we'll just secure all that. Let me grab, I got a few zip ties right here and my snap-on wire cutters. I'll leave a product description and possibly a link in the video description below for these. These are nice long-handled ones, green color. Everything I have is green. You guys can see that in my toolbox walkthrough video. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link for that video in the video description below. Alright, so here's the finished install. So I was able to get the ballast all the way down in there and get a zip tie through the bottom of it to hold it in there. They're all underneath the plugs, this little bulk of wire, so they're not resting on anything. This is nice and secure. You guys probably noticed earlier this little rubber boot right here. This is actually supposed to slide up the wires and go over the back of the light and seal the back of this. Almost every kit I've gotten, I have never used that because it has never fit correctly or stayed in place or worked or served a purpose. I've actually cut them off before just to look so the installation looks even cleaner. Little things like that with a cheap kit, but hey, for how they perform, you can't beat it. It's so worth it. So we're gonna reinstall. You can probably see my battery. It's a new battery and it's already doing this, probably because it's so hot. Yeah, we'll reinstall this. We'll get this back on here. You can see all my drops of sweat here. And yeah, and then I'll show you guys what they look like. Let's kick them on. Here's a shot of them on. You can't really see. Yeah, they're bright. But this is just in the garage. I turn the lights off, turn them on, so you can see just how bright they are. But we're gonna go out tonight, and I'm gonna get a better shot for you guys, so you can see them a little better. I'm gonna show you guys what they look like, lighting up some road signs and stuff too. Right, here we go. No lights out here. Look at all the signs just glowing. Look at them way up there. Alright guys, here I'm outside of it. I'm going to do a quick little walk around right here. See how bright they are. You can't really see it on the video, but they have a slight tint of blue to them, but a little more yellow looking in the video. It's weird. Yeah, look how bright that is though. Looks like my high beams are on. So you can kind of see it on the ground. There's a little bit of blue to them. And the video just does not do it justice. They're like ice white, tiny bit of blue. And it just looks like almost like a crappy incandescent white on the video. It's too bad. Yeah. Probably about to get ran up on here in a second. Just out in the middle of an intersection. Yeah, see, look at that. I mean, they're awesome, guys. I highly recommend them. If you like this video, subscribe, thumbs up, like it.